Hi, welcome to 2020 Tasty Treats with GourmetQuilter. I'm Susan Clare, GourmetQuilter, and we're having a lot of fun with some appliques. We're doing a series of 20 different appliques of things that you might find in your sewing room. So we've been very busy already. We're up to applique number 10, so we're just about halfway through. We've got the first 9 up here on the wall, looking amazing. And wouldn't it be nice if our sewing room stayed that tidy on the wall? And I've got this number 10 is going to be like a skein of possibly stranded cottons, embroidery threads, or some sort of a skein. There is a pattern available through gourmetquilter.com. It's a downloadable pattern. We're doing a different block each day, so we're on to day 10 at the moment. And so the pattern comes each day, and there's the video each day of how I've done each block. So we'll just get started on this. So relatively simple. The skein is really just a piece of colour, but we need to do some lines on it to indicate the different strands of thread. So I found the best way to do that is to mark them. They're marked on my paper of the fusible web so that I can then see through, hopefully, onto the right side. So if I use a light box, that helps show the lines through. And I've just gone over, I've actually done the markings, but just lightly with a pencil so that I can see them when I sew. But that's how I achieve that. Now, if you didn't want to stitch them, you could use a permanent marking pen to do your lines instead, but I think the stitching is kind of fun. So I'm going to position these now onto the background. So this is just sitting pretty much diagonally on our block here. And then the little, I'm assuming in my mind this is a little skein of embroidery cotton, and they usually have a couple of little paper labels wrapped around towards each end. To me that looks a little bit like a skein of stranded embroidery cotton. So I'll iron those in place, and now I'm going to pre-motion stitch, so I'm just putting a stabilizer behind, using a lightweight cotton batting for that. And then I'm going to stitch all those lines, which is the fun part. It's a little bit like drawing with your sewing machine. So we'll just do this middle section first. So I think what I can do is I can come across this little blue label edge so that I've got a little edge to start with. And then I can come back in here and I can just come onto my little line here that I've drawn. And it wanders a little bit. It doesn't have to be super straight or anything. And I'm just going to come back on the next line. So I'm only going over these lines once. You could go over them twice if you wanted to. There's no real need to, I don't think. And they're just a little bit random. They wander around a bit. If you look at a skein of cotton, you find that that's pretty much what they look like. And quite often they get a little tangled. So these are not looking tangled. This is good. As I'm not really a hand sewer, I don't use them a lot, but I do use them occasionally. So I'm going to go on the outside edge of the little skein now. And I can just keep coming onto this label and come up, and I can come and do this other end. Now I'm going to go round the outside edge first this time. And I'm going to come across the end of the label, and then I'm going to come in and start doing these little thread lines. This is a lot of fun because it doesn't really matter too much where the lines go. You can really play, they don't have to be straight. They're just fun. What more can I say? We could just keep going and get this whole thing done. There's not a lot more to do. We'll do the other end as well. So just coming along this edge. Now we haven't been around this whole label yet, but I think we can catch that when we come to the other end. I'm going to go all the way around this end. And come across here. And I'm going to do some of these lines. then we're back and just have to finish that label off. And that whole little skein is done. So I think that's looking pretty good. And everybody needs to have some little bits of thread for things in their sewing room, so we'll pop this up here. Oh, look, we've got a needle and thread right next to it, ready to go. So that was applique number 10 out of the 20, so I will see you again with applique number 11.